All right, welcome to math for Friday, December 4th. I'm going to start with review for the test for next week of our time measurement chart because some of these will be on the test. Remember, 1/4 hour equals 15 minutes. 1/2 hour equals 30 minutes. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. 1 day equals 24 hours. 1 week equals 7 days. 1 month, excuse me, 1 month equals 28 to 31 days. 1 year equals 12 months. 1 year equals about 52 weeks. 1 year equals 365 days. 1 leap year equals 366 days. All right, and let's just look at our clock really quickly. Remember, when the minute hand is straight up, that is o'clock. At 15, that's when you're going to say quarter after. At 6, that's when you're going to say half past. Both of those would stay on the same hour. And then when it's at 9, that's 45 or a quarter to the next hour. All right, and then when you have some of those in between times, if it's more than 30, you're going to the next hour. So it's so many minutes before the next hour. If it's less than 30, then it's so many minutes after that same hour. All right, those are some of the things you need to remember. All right, now I do want to remind you what we learned yesterday. We were talking about weight, measurements of weight, and the only one you're going to have to remember from this chart is that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Also, don't forget LB is the abbreviation for pound and OZ is the abbreviation for ounce. Today we are moving on to measurements of capacity. All right, capacity means how much a container can hold. All right, so we're going to be learning about the cup, which the abbreviation for cup is C, pint, which the abbreviation is PT, quart, the abbreviation is QT, and gallon, the abbreviation is GAL. Okay, so we are going to learn that 1 pint is 2 cups, 1 quart is 2 pints, and 1 gallon is 4 quarts. I like to do it in a little rhythm to help you remember. 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. Let's do that again. 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. 2, then 2 equals 4, right? That will help you to remember it. That's not the way it works, but that's what will help you remember it. So one more time. 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. Now I know that we have pictures of them here, but I also have brought down from my kitchen my measuring cup. All right, so this is a cup, and it would take 2 of these cups to equal a pint. Now, this is my mother-in-law's famous relish. I'm sorry I did not have an empty pint container, but 2 of these to make 1 pint. All right, and then it takes 2 pints to make a quart. So 2 of these to fill up my quart. I also brought my quart down in my big measuring cup because it contains 4 cups. Is this the side where you can see 4 cups? No, that's my liter side. All right, because it contains 4 cups to equal 1 quart. Okay, if there's 2 cups in a pint and 2 pints in a quart, 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 cups for the pint, and it does not say pint on it. It just says 2 over there. But 2 cups equals 1 pint. So I guess that's still 2 cups on that side too. And then 4 cups would be a quart because there's 2 cups in each pint, and there's 2 pints in 1 quart. All right. And then the last one, it would take 4 of these to equal 1 of these, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. They showed you a picture of orange juice. At least I assume that was orange juice. It was in an orange container. Oh, that's weird. It says milk. It's in an orange container, but it says milk. Okay, it's not something I see very often, milk in an orange container, but I thought that was a gallon of orange juice. I buy my orange juice by the gallon because we go through it very fast here at my house. But anyway, this is my milk, okay? 1 gallon of milk, now empty, cleaned out. I tried cleaning one out before, and my husband or my son or somebody recycled it. And I said, hey, I was saving that for when I taught that. So I had to get another one, so that one's not even dry yet. Okay, let's begin. We're going to be doing page 145 of your math review, math work text, math work text, and 143, 144 of your math reviews. 145 and 146 from your work text, and 143, 144 for your reviews. I will just do 143 with you, which is the new side. You'll do that old side on your own, but I will talk to you about it. All right, so let's look. First of all, you see the same little chart that we had, except this milk jug is not orange. So they say 2 cups equals 1 pint. Excuse me. 2 pints equals 1 quart, and 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Okay, and you can see that in the little chart there. Now we're going to think about the real object, and we're going to think about how much that container could hold. What would you measure it in? All right, so the first one is a bathtub. And they're saying, would a bathtub hold 50 pints, which is 2 cups? So that'd be 100 cups or 50 gallons. All right, so a bathtub would hold a lot of water, so that's going to be 50 gallons. All right, then you just have a pan, and that pan, like a saucepan that you would cook something in on the stove, they are giving you choices of 4 pints or 4 gallons. Do you think you could fit 4 gallons of water in that little saucepan? No, you probably couldn't even fit 1 gallon in that little saucepan, so that's going to be 4 pints. Very good. All right, just a little cup of water. Oh, there you go. It's a little cup of water, so that is 1 cup, not 1 quart. All right, that would be like just to get a small drink before you go to bed. All right, then we have a whole huge, this is like one of those you'd see at a doctor's office turned upside down. So is that going to be 5 quarts or 5 gallons? 5 gallons. That's a very large water bottle like you would see in somebody's office. All right, now we're going to do a little table, and it's cups and pints. So at the top they have 2 cups, so 2 cups would be 1 pint. So below the 2 you're going to put a 1. So on the top row, since we're doing cups, we're going to count by 2s, because on the bottom row, we're just doing pints. So for 1 pint, that would be 2 cups. So 1 is on the bottom, 2 is on the top. Then you go to the next box, 2 is on the bottom, so what are we going to put on the top? Because we're supposed to be counting by 2s, right? So we're going to put 4. There's 4 cups and 2 pints. So 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, and then that last one, they already have 6 cups, so how many pints would that be? You'd have to divide it by 2. 6 divided by 2, 2, 4, 6, that would be a 3. So on the top row, we were counting by 2s, because there's 2 cups and a pint, 2, 4, 6. The bottom row, 1, 2, 3. 1 pint is 2 cups, 2 pints is 4 cups, and 3 pints is 6 cups. All right, let's move on to quarts and gallons. So how many quarts were in a gallon? Well, you can look on your paper, but it's 4 quarts in a gallon. So for the quarts row, we're going to start with 4. Very good. And that's 1 gallon. So 4 at the top for the quarts, 1 is on the bottom. Then when you have 8 quarts, how many gallons would that be? 4, 8. So that's 2. 4, 8. Counting by 4s. So that's 2 on the bottom. And then for 3 gallons, we need to do 4, 8, 12. 4, 8, 12. So there are 12 quarts in 3 gallons. So on the top, because there's 4 quarts in a gallon, we're counting by 4s. 4 for 1 gallon, 8 for 2 gallons, and 12 for 3 gallons. All right, that next thing is one of those things we were talking about yesterday where we're going to have to change one side. So we see 1 pint and 3 cups. So I'm going to write these on the board. All right, so the first one, 1 pint, and you have a little circle in the middle, and 3 cups. I think they wrote it out, but I'm going to do the abbreviation. All right, 1 pint and 3 cups. So how many cups are in 1 pint? This is the side we need to change. How many cups are in a pint? 2. You can look on your paper. It says it right at the top. 2 cups equals 1 pint. So on the side that says 1 pint, write 2 cups above it. So you're going to compare 2 cups to 3 cups. What you're going to gobble up? Gobble up the 3 cups. So 2 cups or 1 pint is less than 3 cups. You always have to change the one side so it's the same as the other side. This one's easier to change. 3 cups, you can't really change that to pints because it's more than a pint, okay? All right, the next one is 1 gallon and 4 quarts. All right, so 1 gallon, and again, I'm going to abbreviate it. They already have written it out, but I'm just going to abbreviate it. So 1 gallon and 4 quarts. All right, even though you already know this one, I am going to make you write it anyway. You need to write it. So 1 gallon is how many quarts? 4 quarts. So put 4 quarts above the 1 gallon. And 4 quarts, so that is equal. All right, I don't have room to write the next one beside it, but it is beside it on yours, and it's 1 quart and 5 cups. This one is tricky. All right, 1 quart and 5 cups, because guess what? There are not cups in a quart, it's cups in a pint. So there's 2 cups in a pint and 2 pints in a quart. So if there's 2 cups in this pint and 2 cups in this pint, 2 pints in a quart, so that is 4 cups in a quart. So you need to write 4 cups here. So this is 4 cups, that is 5 cups. Gobble up the 5 cups. So 4 cups or 1 quart is less than 5 cups. Very good. All right, now the next thing you have to do is number in order from the smallest to the largest. All right, so they gave you gallon, quart, cup, and pint. So looking at the top, which one is the smallest? Cup. I hope you said cup, so put a number 1 by cup. Okay, we're going from smallest to biggest. The biggest is going to have the biggest number. What's the next one? Cups lead to pints. So number 2 is going to be pint. And I'm sorry, but I'm looking at the wrong book. But you're still doing the same thing. Because your book did not say it in the order I said it. Yours says quart, cup, gallon, pint. But number 1 is still cup. And number 2 is still pint. I picked up my other book, my second book by accident. All right. After cup, then quart. The next would be, after cup, then pint. The next would be, quart. Sorry. Told you the answer. Quart. So number 3 is going to be quart, and the biggest one of all is gallon. Gallon would be number 4. So you should have had cup is 1, pint is 2, quart is 3, gallon is 4. All right, now we have a short little story problem. It says Eric and his dad are changing the oil in the car. That's a common thing to be doing. The car needs 5 quarts of oil. Dad has 1 gallon of oil. Does Dad have enough oil? All right, we're going to have to do this work. They don't give you a place to do it, but we're going to do it. And I've lost my eraser. There it is. All right, so I'm going to erase this. And it says that Dad has 1 gallon of oil, and he needs 5 quarts. All right, so Dad needs 5 quarts. So write 5 quarts. And he has 1 gallon, right? So this is what he needs, and this is what he has, okay? So he needs 5 quarts, he has 1 gallon. Now we have to change the gallon to quarts. So how many quarts in a gallon? On your paper, it shows you there are 4 quarts. All right, so 5 quarts, 4 quarts, gobble up the 5 quarts, or 5 quarts is greater than 4 quarts or 1 gallon. So since Dad only has a gallon, that's only 4 quarts. Does he have enough? That would be no. So you should bubble in the little circle next to the word no. No, he does not have enough because he needs 5 quarts and he only has 4 quarts because 1 gallon is 4 quarts. And you do need to show me this work. There's room for it right there underneath that story problem. Every time you have a story problem like this, I expect you to show me the work. Okay? All right, turn your paper over. And on the back you see a little ice cream sundae. All right, so think about it this way. They say 1 cup or 1 quart. If that was 1 quart, that would be 4 cups. We've already learned, we did on the front of our paper, a quart was 4 cups. That is definitely not 4 cups of ice cream, so that must be a cup of ice cream. All right, and then we have a little doggy getting a bath. So would you use 5 pints, which is only 10 cups of water, or 5 gallons? 5 gallons is more water to give your dog a bath. All right, and the last one is a pitcher. Would a pitcher only contain 2 cups or 2 quarts? 2 quarts. That would be a half-gallon pitcher. A lot of pitchers come in a half-gallon size. You have a big gallon-size pitcher, but then you also have your half-gallon pitchers. All right, now the next section is one of those sections where we're going to have to change one side or the other. The first one says 3 cups, 1 pint. All right, so I'm going to erase the story problem. Hopefully you paused the video if you weren't ready. All right, I'm going to start a little further over. 3 cups, 1 pint. All right, let me double check and make sure that's what it said. Yes, it was. All right, so the side we're going to change is pints. All right, how many cups are in a pint? 2 cups. I hope that's what you said. So 3 cups compared to 2 cups. 3 cups is greater, so 3 cups is greater than 2 cups or 1 pint. All right, so that would be greater than. The next one is 2 quarts, 1 gallon. All right, so 2 quarts, compare it to 1 gallon. All right, so we're going to change the gallon side. How many quarts are in a gallon? Did you say 4 quarts? I hope you did. So 2 quarts is less than 4 quarts. Gobble up the 4 quarts or the gallon. 2 quarts is less than 4 quarts or a gallon, right? And the last one of this is 2 pints and 1 quart. So 2 PT, 1 QT, 2 pints, 1 quart. How many pints were in a quart? If you don't remember, look back at the front of your paper. And it was 2. So over here, you're going to say 2 pints, 1 quart. 2 pints and 1 quart are the same. So 2 pints, that's equal. 2 pints is equal to 1 quart. And that is the way I expect you to do those every time. So get in the habit of it. When you do a homework paper, when you do the test, I expect it to be done this way, even for the ones that are equal. Okay? I want you to prove it to me. Show me that you know it. All right, now we have a little table again. This time we're comparing pints and quarts. So how many pints are in a quart? Sorry, dropped my marker. How many pints are in a quart? 2. I saw 2 is on the top with a pint, so that means there's going to be a 1 underneath it. 2 pints, 1 quart. All right, then go to the next one. It says 2 quarts, and then we need to double the pints because there's 2 pints in a quart, and that would be 2 and 2 is 4. Very good. So above the 2, you're going to put a 4. And then that top row is going to be counted by 2s because for every quart there is 2 pints. So 2, 4, 6 for the next one where they have 3 quarts. 3 times 2 is 6. So for the first one, you should add 2 pints, and below that you should have put a 1 because 1 quart. Then when they had 2 quarts, above it, 2 times 2 is 4, so you should add a 4. And then when they had 3 quarts, 3 times 2 is 6. So the top row should be counting 2, 4, 6. Bottom row should say 1, 2, 3. All right, now we're going to match up the measurements. All right, so let's look at the first one. It says 2 pints. 2 pints in a quart. So match up 2 pints to 1 quart. Then 4 quarts. 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So match up 4 quarts to 1 gallon. And the last one says 2 cups. 2 cups in 1 pint. 2 cups in a pint. 2 pints in a quart. 4 quarts in a gallon. All right, and then we have another story problem. This one says Liz has 2 quarts of cranberry juice and 1 quart of grape juice. So that means we're going to have to add, right? And she's going to mix them together to make a punch. Will the mixed juice fit in a 1 gallon container? All right, so we're going to erase this. All right, so she's got 2 quarts of one kind of juice plus 1 quart of another kind, and that makes 3 quarts, right? But let's go ahead and use that to make it be the comparison, because she's trying to put it into a 1 gallon container. So we have the 2 quarts plus the 1 quart equaling 3 quarts. So show that work, please. And then you're going to compare the 3 quarts to 1 gallon, because she wants to know, will it fit in a 1 gallon container? Well, let's change the gallon to quarts. How many quarts are in a gallon? 4 quarts. So 3 quarts is less than 4 quarts. So would it fit in a 1 gallon container? Yes, it would. So bubble in, yes. 3 quarts would definitely fit in a 4 quart or 1 gallon container. All right, the next section is just a little bit of review, okay? And this is about measurements of weight. All right, so if you look at the first one, it appears to be a bowling ball. Bowling balls are pretty heavy for those of you that come bowling. So is that going to be ounces or pounds? Pounds. So that's a 7-pound bowling ball, which is really not that heavy of a bowling ball. All right, next would be a chipmunk. Chipmunks are really tiny, so they would be not 5 pounds, but 5 ounces, right? 5 ounces. And then the whole bunch of carrots, not just 1 carrot, that whole bunch of carrots is probably about 2 pounds. 1 carrot might be ounces, but the whole bunch would be a pound, 2 pounds. Then they have a slice of bread. You should know this one from what we learned yesterday. 1 slice of bread would be about 1 ounce. The whole loaf would be about a pound. And then your controller for your video games. Would that be in ounces or pounds? They're not that heavy, so that would be ounces. 8 ounces, not 8 pounds. Can you imagine how tired your arms would get if you had to carry around an 8-pound controller? And the last one is just a hat, a baseball hat, right? So that would be ounces. Doesn't weigh very much. You'd get such a headache if it did. All right, let's move on to your reviews page 143, 144. At the top of it, they again remind you that there are, read it with me, 2 cups equals 1 pint. 2 pints equals 1 quart. 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Let's say it with rhythm. 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon. Remember when you say, that's 1 gallon. All right, so let's look at the little container. It's a little juice box. That would be 1 cup. I hope you said 1 cup, because 1 quart would actually be 4 cups. Juice boxes don't come with 4 cups of drink in them. All right, then you see an aquarium. An aquarium, 5 cups or 5 gallons? Definitely 5 gallons. And a 5-cup aquarium would not be very big. All right, and then we see a thermos. All right, think about it. In reality, if this is a gallon, thermoses aren't usually this big. All right, so that would definitely be a pint. That's a small thermos. It's not even one of the big ones. It only holds 2 cups. And the last thing, it says apple juice. Apple juice, would a whole container of apple juice just have 1 cup in it? No, that would be a quart, which would be 4 cups. All right, very good. All right, now we're going to do the table. All right, so remember, this is cups on the bottom, pints on the top. So the top row, they're counting by 1s. And the bottom row, they're counting by 2s, because there's 2 cups in every pint, right? So the top row, they already said 1. Below that, how many cups are in a pint? You're going to put a 2. Very good. Then for the next one, they've already counted by 2s for cups. They put a 4. So go back to the top, where you're going to just count by 1s and put a 2. Then they put a 3 for pints. So you go to the bottom and count by 2s. 2, 4, 6. Very good. So the top row for pints should say 1, 2, and 3 pints. The bottom row should say 2, 4, and 6 for cups, because 1 pint has 2 cups, 2 pints has 4 cups, and 3 pints has 6 cups. All right, the next one is gallons and quarts. All right, so how many quarts are in a gallon? 4. So the bottom row is counting by fours. Where it says quarts, the top row is just counting by ones. So when they have 4 quarts at the bottom, up on top for gallons, you need to just put 1. 1 gallon is 4 quarts. All right, then when they have 2 gallons, 2 sets of 4. 4 is 8. Very good. So on the bottom, you need to put an 8 underneath that 2. For 2 gallons, that's 8 quarts. Then count by 4s again. 4, 8, 12. So where they have 12 quarts, how many gallons is that going to be? 4, 8, 12. That's just 3 gallons. So notice the top row, you're counting by ones. 1, 2, 3. Bottom row, you're counting by fours. 4, 8, 12. All right, then we have another section where we are going to prove it. All right, so the first one says 1 pint, 2 cups. And again, I am abbreviating it. 1 pint, 2 cups. All right, so we're going to change the pint. Excuse me. We're going to change the pint to cups. So 1 pint is, above it, put 2 cups, 2C. So 2 cups equal. That is the same. 2 cups and 2 cups. Next it says 6 quarts and 1 gallon. All right, so 6 quarts, 1 gallon. The one to change is the gallon side. How many quarts are in a gallon? Very good. 4 quarts, just like it says at the top of your paper. So if this is 6 quarts, gobble it up. 6 quarts is greater than 4 quarts or 1 gallon. 4 quarts and a gallon are the same, and 6 quarts will be greater than that. The last one says 1 pint, 1 quart. All right, this is 1 pint. This is 1 quart. Change the quart side because you can't change the pint side. How many pints are in a quart? 2. 2 pints. All right, 2 pints. So gobble up the 2 pints, which is bigger. So 1 pint is less than 2 pints or 1 quart. Okay? All right, very good. Next, you're going to do what I started to do a while ago by mistake. This one does say gallon, quart, cup, pint. You're going to number them in order from the smallest to the greatest. Remember, the smallest is going to be number 1. So which one is the smallest? Cup, number 1. Next would be pint. So pint would be number 2. Cup, pint, quart. Quart would be number 3. And the biggest one, gallon. Very good. Number 4 is gallon. So cup would be 1, pint would be 2, quart would be 3, gallon would be 4. All right, and that brings us to another story problem. A soup recipe calls for 2 quarts of tomato juice and 2 pints of broth. Will the juice and the broth make 1 gallon? All right, now they have over there already written out part of the story problem. So you're going to get to use that. So over in the box, it says 2 quarts plus 2 pints. This is what's in that box. It says 2 quarts plus 2 pints equals how many quarts? Okay, do you see that in the box? Now, can you add quarts and pints? No, you can't. So above the 2 pints, you need to tell me how many quarts would that be? 2 pints is 1 quart. Why can't we do it the other way? Why can't we change this side to pints? Because they're asking us how many quarts it would be. So we have to change the 2 pints to 1 quart. So now that we've changed the 2 pints to 1 quart, we're going to say 2 quarts plus 1 quart is 3 quarts. So put a 3 on the line. Very good. Now that we know that it is 3 quarts, you can put 3 in this little line, and we're comparing 3 quarts to 1 gallon. All right, now again we need to change because this side is 3 quarts, this side is 1 gallon. So above 1 gallon, how many quarts are in a gallon? 4 quarts. All right, so this is how much broth she made, 3 quarts. 4 quarts is greater than that. So would it fit if she took 2 quarts and made 2 quarts and 1 pint and turned it into that much broth, will she have a gallon? They're asking us, will she have a gallon? No, because she only has 3 quarts. She doesn't have 4 quarts. So bubble in, no. They're asking, did she make a gallon of broth? So 2 quarts plus 2 pints, which is 1 quart. 2 quarts plus 1 quart is only 3 quarts. 3 quarts is less than 4 quarts or a gallon. So no, she did not make a gallon. All right. On the back, oh, you have lots of clocks. Shall I do it with you? I sort of want to. I want to remind you about what's going to be on the test coming up when you come back. We'll be having the math test on Tuesday. So let's go ahead and do the back together too. All right, your first clock looks like this. All right, shorthand first, remember. So that is 2. Longhand by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 235. Very good. All right, the next one looks like this. Shorthand first. It just passed the 5. So the hour hand is at 5. So put 5. Minute hand just past the 2. 5, 10. One more makes 11. Very good. So that would be 5, 11. All right, next one looks like this. All right, so shorthand first. Don't say 9. It's not really to the 9 yet. Still got to get up to o'clock before it's actually 9. So it is 8. 8 what? It's past the 9. 9 times 5 is 45. If you don't know that, because your clock won't have numbers on it like mine does. So you would count around till you got to 45, then count by ones. 46, 47. So that would be 8, 47. All right, the next one, they already have told you what time it is. They said this clock is set for 10:15. All right, so if that clock is set for 10:15, then that means it is a quarter after 10. It was 10 o'clock, and now it is a quarter of the clock. Remember, when you divide the clock in fourths, straight down and straight across, those are called quarters. Each section of the clock is called a quarter. So this would be a quarter after. It was 10 o'clock, and now it's a quarter after 10. All right, the next one says 10:30. So think about dividing the clock straight in half. So that is half past 10. Since it's not more than 30, you're still saying the same hour. Staying at the same hour, 10. 10:30 or half past 10. Cutting the clock straight in half, half past. All right, and then the next one is 10:45. Right, so for 10:45, 45 is definitely more than 30, so that's when you go to the next hour. So you're saying it's a quarter to the next hour, which is 11. After 10 is going to be 11. So a quarter to 11. All right, now on the next one, we're doing the same thing, but you have to write the time this time. And then you have to choose quarter to, quarter after, or half past. All right, so the first one is this. All right, shorthand first. It is just past the 8. Very good. Longhand, 5, 10, 15. So it is 8:15. All right, do you remember? 8:15. 15 would be quarter after. Very good. All right, remember it was 8 o'clock, and now it's a quarter after 8. Don't forget to put the 8. Quarter after 8. Make sure you spell quarter correctly. I would take off a point. The word is right there to copy. So I would take off a point if you spell it wrong. Quarter. Q-U-A-R-T-E-R. After. A-F-T-E-R. 8. All right, the next one says this. Very good. Shorthand first. Still on 8. Longhand by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Half the clock. So that is 8. Very good. 8. Half of the clock. It was 8 o'clock. Now half of the clock has gone around. All right, the last one looks like this. So that is, even though it looks like it's at 9, it's not. It's still at the 8. 8:45. Very good. This time, that's more than 30. So we're going to say that it is 1:45 because it's only almost the next hour, which is 9. So it's 1:45, 9 o'clock. Very good. Just put 9. 1:45. Don't forget to put the 9 though. 1:45. It was 8:45, which is the same thing as a quarter of the clock. Remember, 1/4 of the clock. One more fourth of the clock until it's 9 o'clock. 8:45. All right. Now moving to that last section. All right, last section looks like this. First one, shorthand first. 1. Very good. So put a 1 for your hour. Longhand by 5s. At the 4, it would be 20. So count by 1s. 21, 22. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. So it is 1:22. Is 22 more than 30 or less than 30? Less than 30. So we are going to switch and say 22 minutes after 1. You should have written 1:22 and then just switch the numbers and put 22 minutes after 1. Very good. All right, the next one looks like, whoops, this. Shorthand first. 8. Very good. So put 8 in the long hand by 5s, 5, 10, then count by 1s, 11, 12, 13. So it's 8:13. All right, is that less than 30? Yes, it is. So what are you going to do? Switch. So put 13 minutes after 8. Just switch the two numbers. 8:13. Switch their places. 13 minutes after 8. Right. All right, this is your next one. Shorthand first. All right, hopefully you did not say that it was on the 5 because it's not supposed to be. It is supposed to be on the 4, not to the 5 yet. It's getting closer, but it's not there yet. And the long hand is on the 7, right on the 7. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So that would be 4:35. Is 35 more than 30? Yes, it is. So what are we going to do? Count backwards, remember? So go up to the top and count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes till the next hour. What's the next hour? 5 o'clock. So 25 minutes before 5. Count backwards. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes before the next hour. It was 4. The next hour is 5. 25 minutes before 5. One more. I have to go around and around a lot of times. Okay. Think clearly. It's not at the 12. For those of you that said 12, it's not there. It will be there very shortly, but it's not there yet. So if it's not really at the 12 because it's not straight up at o'clock yet, then it must be at 11. Very good. 11 what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. It's not right on the number, so this would be 56. 11:56. Not at the 12 because it's not all the way up to o'clock yet. So it's still at 11 even though it looks like it's at the 12. The reason for that is 56, is 56 more than 30? Definitely. So we got to count backwards. So can we even count by 5s? No, because it's on this side of the 11. So we're going to just have to count by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes before the next hour. If we put the hour as 11, that means the next hour is going to be 12. Very good. 4 minutes before 12. All right, I hope that was helpful to help you review for the test one last time. Okay? All right, and I will see you for the next class.